What is going on, guys? Dennis Sullivan here, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan here to discuss the latest Miami Dolphin victory, a 29-21 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. We'll discuss this game with you in a little bit of detail and share my thoughts. Also, if you do like the content of this particular video, go right ahead and hit that like button. You can also find me as well on my podcast, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan, on various platforms. So, let's get into it, guys. This was another game where we saw, really for the third game in a row, or since Tua has taken over, we've seen a very opportunistic Miami Dolphin team on all sides of the ball. The special teams have clearly shown major improvement over the last few weeks. Really, Jakeem Grant's a big part of that, though. I mean, we know he's a good returner, but a really good return guy. But, of course, the block punt in the first quarter really set the Dolphins up nice at the beginning of the game, and we would go in early for a 7-0 lead to get things started, and that was on the Salvon Ahmed touchdown run. And this victory gives the Dolphins now a record of 6-3, which puts the Dolphins only a half a game behind the Buffalo Bills. So as we look into even next week, we go into week 11, you're going to have a 6-3 Miami Dolphin team playing on the road against the Broncos, who are rebuilding, but they have a few wins. I mean, you know, they're fully capable of beating the Dolphins at home. And the Bills will have a bye. So, quick math here, guys. A Dolphin win would actually put them in a tie with the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. Isn't that crazy, though? I mean, it's almost kind of weird just to say that. Still, Buffalo, if that were to happen, another Dolphin victory. Now, of course, with today's win, 29-21 over the Chargers, that's 5 in a row for the Dolphins. But should they win their 6th straight game next weekend, that would put them in a tie, although technically Buffalo would hold the tiebreaker because they beat us head-to-head. But, I mean, there's still plenty of football left in the 2020 season. So this is pretty cool, the way everything's playing out. So that, before I get into the breakdown, the statistics and things like that, what I'm really seeing here is more just plays that the last few years would not go our way are now starting to go our way, or mistakes that you would see the Dolphins make over the last handful of years. Now all of a sudden the Dolphins are the recipients of such mistakes. For example, the field goal in the first half, which was good. However, Dolphins get an automatic first down due to the personal foul penalty. Take the penalty, retain possession, and of course they erased the 3 points off the board, but they wanted the ball. Automatic first down converted into a touchdown because now they move even deeper into the Charger territory. So that was a typical Dolphin move. Not that it's really that funny, but I have to laugh a little bit because that was such a Dolphin move that the Chargers did there with a of course, 4th down personal foul on the made field goal. But Dolphins figure, you know what, we'll take the ball because we're already at least in field goal range. Let's see if we can get 7 out of it or 6 out of it and an extra point, making it 7. So these are the types of things. Jakeem Grant's been a nice, consistent contributor, quietly having a really good year for the Dolphins. I mean, he's not going to be like leading your fantasy team to victory, but I mean, if you combine now the added impact he's having on the passing game with what he's really good at, and that's returning punts and kicks, he's been a tremendous asset for the Dolphins this year. So let's get into it, guys. A little statistical breakdown for the Dolphins. Tua was back at it again. This was his 3rd start. He's now 3-0 as a starter as the Dolphins win their 5th straight game today. A rather conservative. This kind of takes us back a few weeks to Tua's first start. Looked a little more like that today. Not ultra conservative, but still pretty conservative. He would go 15 out of 25, 169 yards throwing the football, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he wasn't sacked. So other than the fumble that he lost on a run, other than that one fumble Tua lost, he's doing a fantastic job avoiding the negative plays. So he's giving them that little extra energy. I mean, he's not going to throw, at least we haven't seen yet, for 350 yards like Fitzpatrick was in that range. I mean, he threw over 300 yards multiple times this year. He's not quite giving us that edge, but he's given the Dolphins other pluses. Like, and he's a good runner. He's keeping the defense off balance with that because they know he can take off the right. He moves around really well. So it's a different kind of impact with Tua under center. One of the big stories today was Salvon Ahmed with 21 carries for 85 yards. I mean, a strong running performance and the running touchdown as discussed earlier. Not to take any credit at all away from Ahmed, but the running lanes were starting to open. There were some opportunities here, guys. Ahmed did a really good job, but he had the running lanes. He did. The offensive line did a much better job today. Patrick Laird had 2 carries for 19 yards. Malcolm Perry added a carry for 6 yards. DeAndre Washington, 2 carries, 2 yards. They have, through the scrambling and the running and all that, Tua credited for -1 yard running on 6 carries, and of course the fumble lost. Jakeem Grant led the receiving group for the Dolphins. 4 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. It was very well balanced, and remember, Tua threw for under 200 yards, so there wasn't a ton of numbers in the passing game. Mike Gesicki had 2 catches, 40 yards. Devontae Parker, 2 catches, 31 yards. Malcolm Perry, that is, would add 2 catches, 21 yards out of the backfield. Adam Shaheen had a catch for 19 yards. Durham Smythe, the backup tight end, 2 catches, 9 yards, and a touchdown. Ahmed added a catch for 5 yards. Mac Hollins had one catch for 1 yard. Xavier Howard with his 5th interception on the defensive side of things for the Dolphins. 5th pick of the season. Having a great year is Xavier Howard. For the Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert. Now this was a battle of rookies, remember. Coming into the game, picked just right next to each other in the first round. Tua going to the Dolphins. Next pick, Chargers, take Herbert. Herbert, as of now, the favorite to win Rookie of the Year, 20 out of 32, 187 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked twice. Similar numbers to Tua, but Tua avoided the negative plays. Herbert, he didn't do a bad job in that department, but he did throw the 1 pick and he was sacked twice. Former Dolphin Kalen Ballage, 18 carries, 68 yards, led the way running the football for the Chargers. Joshua Kelly had 7 carries, 21 yards. Herbert would add 10 yards on the ground on 4 carries and a touchdown. Keenan Allen had 3 catches for the Chargers, 39 yards and a touchdown reception. Mike Williams, 2 catches, 38 yards. Ballage had a nice game overall, would add 34 yards receiving on 5 receptions. Hunter Henry, the talented tight end for the Chargers, would have 4 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Guyton had 4 catches, 24 yards. Donald Parham Jr. had a catch for 13 yards. Sorry about that, guys. Looking at my notes here. Mr. Donald Parham Jr., 1 catch, 13 yards. Gabe Neighbors had 9 yards receiving on 1 catch. So, guys, the Dolphins now look to go on the road, playing the Broncos in Denver. Denver's never an easy place to get a win on the road. So it doesn't matter. Even with the limited crowds, it's not going to be an easy game for the Dolphins. Remember, Broncos have won some games. I mean, it's not like they've had a completely off year here. They're young. They did not play that well today against the Raiders. They took a loss, but still, they're going to be home. They need the win. This will not be an easy task for the Dolphins, who unbelievably are now at 6-3 on the season. So guys, things are looking really good. I think the main takeaway is, of course, two main takeaways from this game. The energy still continues to be there for the Dolphins in special teams, in big plays. They seem to be making those 3 or 4 big plays that we weren't getting last year, and we weren't even really getting much of this year until maybe 4 weeks ago, 4 or 5 weeks ago, and now it's just those 3 or not even 4, more like 3 plays a game that the Dolphins are getting that we just weren't getting before. So, and this could be a big Brian Flores credit here. He's keeping them just focused. He's keeping the big mistakes, or at least the team is, but I mean, he's keeping them disciplined, keeping the big mistakes to a minimum. And we gotta give a lot of credit to Brian Flores, who was 5-11 in his first year with the Dolphins, but now 6-3. What does that put him at? 11-14, which is pretty good when you think about the fact that when he started in 2019, the Dolphins were completely decimated with that roster, and it was almost like a minor league team with that roster for a while. Remember, we were getting destroyed at the beginning of last year. So quite a nice turnaround for the Dolphins, and we got to give credit to Coach Brian Flores. So for now, guys, this is Dennis Sullivan saying thank you so much for listening and watching my video. I will see you, yes you, very soon. Catch my podcast as well. We'll talk real soon. Go Dolphins.